Greetings, I'm Dr. Eric Kusher, founder and developer of the Compass Fat Loss System. Thank you for completing your patient health information form. Be advised, this form will be reviewed in detail by both the coach assisting you as well as the doctor prior to your beginning the program. The doctor will reach out to you personally should he or she feel there are circumstances within your history which warrant further discussion. It is very important that if you're currently taking any medications, especially those for diabetes, high blood pressure, and elevated lipids, that your primary care physician or any specialist whom are monitoring you stay in the loop with the process here. It's not going to be long before you've lost a significant amount of weight, and your needs for those medications may change. We need your doctors to be in the know to make these changes on the fly when necessary. Please also note that even though we fully expect dramatic changes in your risk profile to result from the process, we are not diagnosing nor treating health conditions here. We will simply be co-managing our part of the process with your current healthcare providers. Now, let's talk for a moment about some other programs that patients might have tried to lose weight in the past. These types of programs are generally pretty good at getting weight to come off in the short term, but not very good at keeping it off in the long term. I have no interest in getting you to lose weight that you're ultimately going to wind up putting back on. I want the weight coming off, I want it staying off, and I want this to be your last stop. That's one reason we use all real food, not packaged meals, shakes, bars, so you can bring your new lifestyle habits forward to maintain forever. Now, let's talk about some reasons that patients come in to see us to lose weight. Your health is the only reason I really care about. So let's discuss this, as it is the one reason which aligns most closely with everything which follows. For this reason, part of what we do for new patients on the initial visit is a little bit of non-invasive testing to give me a good handle on where your health risks are sitting today. And the goal for me is to get those risks to come from wherever they show up today to wherever they should ultimately be optimally. And when we have successfully made that transition, any other reasons that people come in here to lose weight besides their health, meaning subjective things like your clothes fitting better, the mirror looking better, self-esteem, confidence, these are all going to fall into place almost automatically. So you and I are always going to continually focus on driving your health risk down to land in the proper range, and all the other things will come along for the ride. They require no conscious focus on our part. Our system to accomplish these goals has been designed so you, the patient, will actually take home and own the hardware system designed to supply us with all of our objective readings to continually assess progress in real time. At the time we obtain your initial readings in the office, your coach will instruct you on the simple process of taking the very same readings at home each day. This data will automatically be uploaded to our dashboard daily, allowing us to follow your progress each step of the way and jump in should you need assistance. The platform will also allow us to communicate with you in real time via electronic means or even video conference. Finally, let's talk about your commitment or motivation level, which is the final question on your history form. This is a very important question because patients need to understand A, the motivation or commitment to do this is the only thing that you need to bring to the process. And B, if we're going to do something together, I'm not going to be doing it halfway. I'm going to be 100% in, or it makes little sense to start. There's no halfway here. I also expect a similar mindset from my patients. Let's get the job done, or why even bother? If you are fully motivated, you need to understand that we'll have your back through this whole process, and we're going to get you to goal weight. And much more importantly, we're going to keep you at goal weight for life and give you all the tools you need to maintain. Let's take the rest of our time together and get you a really good overview of our program and the process here. We'll do a little bit of comparing and contrasting to other programs that you might be familiar with, and we'll go into a few things that I'm going to be asking of you in order to be successful, and then a whole bunch of things that myself and the team will give back to make sure that we finally get to your goal and, more importantly, stay there. Our process here is not going to consist of counting calories or points or any other measures of food going into you. I'm not going to be pushing you into a gym today or asking you to exercise vigorously. That's exactly the type of an outside-in process that we expect from the other weight loss programs. They count calories going into you, then they measure how much you burn during exercise and activity, and quite frankly, they do the math and they hope that you burn more than you consume. So, in theory, you're going to lose weight. In order to get a different result, we need to take a vastly different approach. My focus is going to be on the inside and working out, which means I'm going to be focusing exclusively on your metabolism and your biochemistry right now. And the goal here is to change or transition those over from a fat storing state, which is apparently where you've been stuck for some time, into a fat burning state, or a state of what we call sustainable ketosis. When we transition you out the other side, your body is going to be looking for its primary sources of fuel in your onboard stores of fuel, which is your body fat, before it's going to be looking for new calories coming in the form of food. To get this to happen, there's a few things that we need to ask of you in order to be successful. Actually, 4 things. Number 1, I'm going to ask you to weigh yourself every day on the unit you will take home after the initial visit, so we have some precision and reliability in our numbers, and I'm going to ask you to do that at roughly the same time each day, in the same clothes or preferably no clothes, so we're comparing apples to apples every day down the line. Most of our patients who do this will either roll out of bed or step out of the shower, nude onto the unit, and get their numbers. These readings will automatically be uploaded to our platform, so there is no additional effort on your part. This is a critical part of the process which gives me real-time daily oversight on everything that's happening to you. So, if you're sending your numbers every day and you're losing weight consistently at a good clip, you will need little input on those days. If, however, like most patients, you reach a point where you hit a plateau or a sticking point, as happens to every patient, and you'll probably hit more than one, now I'll know at the same time as you do because we're watching your numbers every day. So we're not going to wait a week or a month to get you in here and fix these things. We're going to actually fix them in real time. We're going to see these sticking points. We're going to assess them. We're going to give you things to break through the sticking points immediately and continue heading consistently down towards goal weight with very little interruption. This communication process and this oversight and this monitoring and this accountability back and forth is a huge piece of what makes the process work as effectively as it does. We'll be with you every single day, every step of the way to monitor your progress and coach you as needed. Step number 2, as you probably expect, there's going to be a meal plan that's associated with the process here. The meal plan is very common sense. It's all built around real food that you buy at the grocery store and prepare yourself. You'll shop the same way you always have, just making better choices. And this is all by design because we don't want you to be dependent upon some packaged processed meals or bars or shakes. That's not the way to lose weight that you're going to maintain for the rest of your life. Once those tools are gone, you've learned no new skills, and that's where most people gravitate towards the way they ate before and regain their weight. You'll also be free to eat out at restaurants as long as you make proper choices and let your server know how your food needs to be prepared. Virtually every restaurant will accommodate these requests these days. The new plan is going to be built around proteins, vegetables, and fruits. So within those 3 categories, you're going to have a ton of choices and a lot of latitude, and we're going to give you several hundred recipes so you'll actually enjoy your food and you won't go hungry. And most patients have a really easy time sticking to the meal plan. Outside of those 3 categories are going to be the foods that I'm going to ask you to try to steer clear of, which are probably the ones you might expect. The pizza, the pasta, the chips, the soda, the wine, all the things that keep people coming into us every day. But most patients find that their cravings for these types of foods do tend to fall off pretty early in the process. And the reason that that happens is that one of the first things we're getting done here is a rebalancing and a normalization of your blood sugar. If you're on anything like a standard Western diet today, even if you're not a diabetic, your blood sugar throughout the day goes into swings. It goes high, then low, then high, then low. When you're up here high, you feel pretty decent. But when your blood sugar starts to bottom out, that's when patients start to get symptoms. First, they can get cravings for the wrong types of foods because your body's trying to pump up its blood sugar again. Secondly, many patients feel fatigue or periods of low energy during the day. This is also when their blood sugar is bottoming out. If over a short period of time we can compress those swings down so your blood sugar is more level instead of gyrating throughout the day, these symptoms tend to fall off. Cravings will diminish, and most patients will find that their energy level will come up and stay there fairly early in the process. So, they tend to feel a whole lot better pretty early on as compared to before they started. So number 2, stick with your meal plan. Number 3, for the 43-day cycle, I'm going to ask you to keep a daily journal for me. This is a little bound notebook that's part of what you walk away with. And inside this book, among other things, are 43 separate pages, 1 page for each day of the cycle. And keep it with you and accessible because you'll need to be logging certain things throughout the day for us. Simple things like the date, your goal weight, your weight for each day, which is likely to change every day. You'll list all the foods that you eat throughout the day, specifically all the water that you drink, and we'll be tracking this, and all the supplements that you take. And there are 3 supplements that come along as part of the program, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But the journal is a valuable tool as it's a reference guide for you and I to go back to if we're 3 or 4 weeks down the road and we've hit one of these sticking points or plateaus. Part of what I'll say to you is next time we check your progress, which is every 4 weeks, have that journal with you. We'll sit down together, we'll go through it, we'll pick it apart, we'll see where you might have fallen off the rails a little bit. We'll course correct if we have to, and we'll keep you heading down consistently towards your goal weight. Fourth and finally are the supplements which were just mentioned a moment ago. There are 3 supplements that we have formulated here to work hand in hand with our program. They're all in liquid form in bottles with droppers, and they either go in your water or under your tongue depending upon which dose you're taking. And they're all made without the use of any medications or hormones or caffeine or stimulants or anything that's ever given a single patient a side effect, a drug interaction, or an adverse reaction. We've treated literally thousands of patients and never had an incident. So they're very safe, but they do 3 specific things very effectively for us. The first one is a weight management formula. And all that does, quite frankly, is to accelerate the rate that your body burns fat tissue. So, if you go on a restricted calorie program here or anywhere else, and you don't have something like this working for you, the usual expectation in weight loss is that the patient will be expected to lose about a pound of lean tissue for each pound of fat that they lose. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio. Statistically here, and with the use of the formula, and we crunch these numbers consistently to make sure of this, we skew it over. So now we'll be losing 80% fat and 20% lean tissue. That's not perfect, but it's a huge improvement, and it's very important because we do want to lose the tissue that serves very little purpose for us and is actually counterproductive, which is the fat, but we want to hang on to the muscle tissue because that will continue to burn calories for us throughout the process. The second supplement is an energy formula called B-Boost. And we use that because if you go on a reduced calorie plan and you don't have something to naturally keep your energy level boosted up, it's just going to be a matter of time before you begin to fatigue and your mood changes and your motivation falls away and you say no more of this. We don't see that here. Most of our patients actually report to us that even though they're eating a smaller volume of food on the plan than before, that their energy level comes up and stays there consistently. And this is largely due to the energy formula. Third and finally is a detox formula. We use this during the 43-day cycle because from the second day of the cycle moving forward, your body is actually going to be burning somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 calories every single day of body fat for its fuel. And any toxins that your body hangs on to right now are right inside that fat. So as the fat burns, the toxins will get slowly released into the bloodstream. And the detox formula will serve to detoxify those into less harmful forms and ultimately help you excrete them in the urine. So you will take these 3 supplements for the 43-day cycle. You'll get transitioned into the fat burning state. You'll no longer take them. You don't need them anymore. They're just for the transition phase. So let's take a quick step back and go through the 4 things that I'm asking of you. Number 1, take and transmit your weight every day. Number 2, follow your meal plan. Number 3, keep your journal for 43 days. And number 4, take your supplements for the 43 days. Any patient that comes through this process with us that will simply do those 4 things will succeed every single time. We have virtually 100% success rate here. In addition to the few things that I ask of you and all that I and my staff will do to make sure that we attain success and stay there, there are a couple of pieces of technology that are built into the system to make sure that everything that we do here together stays objective and measurable. We guess at nothing here. Everything goes by data and numbers consistently. So let's discuss those for a moment. First is a little test called a body composition analysis, or a BCA. This looks like a bathroom scale, and it's the unit you will take home with you. You climb aboard it, it interfaces with our computer, and at the end of the test, it gives me a collection of 5 readings that I need so we can build a baseline for you so we have something to measure off going forward to continually assess your progress. These will be your body weight, your BMI, or your body mass index, which is just a ratio of your height to your weight, your percentage of body fat. I need to know this continually because as we lose weight consistently, I need to be sure that we're burning the right kind of tissue, and this test will tell me that. 4th is your level of hydration, a very important number. For the reactions that have to occur to get you shifted into the fat burning state, it's very difficult to do that with somebody who is dehydrated. So if you come back low on this level, it just lets us know that we need to pump up your water intake to certain levels throughout the process, and we'll be fine. 5th and finally is a number called your level of visceral fat, which actually turns out to be the most important number to me. Visceral fat is a bit different than just cosmetic fat. It's a different composition. It's the kind of fat that usually surrounds and supports your internal organs. Men generally see it in the belly and the sides, and women there as well, and sometimes in the back of the arms. But the number is important because this is the number that if it comes back elevated, it correlates very closely to your risk factors for metabolic diseases going forward. We're talking about things like high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, stroke, all stuff that we need to keep our eye on to keep our risks minimal. So I want you to lose weight for whatever reasons you walked in here for. We're going to continue to look at all 5 of those readings, but the visceral fat is the one that I, as a healthcare provider, will pay the most attention to. And if that comes back elevated, my first order of business is to knock it down as quickly as possible, and all those other numbers will follow right along. The second test that we do is performed about 4 weeks out at your second visit. At that point, you'll come in for your first follow-up. At the end of that visit, we're going to take a little QTip swab from inside your cheek. We're going to send it to our lab, and they're going to perform a DNA analysis for us based on a couple of specific targets. This is the point we're going to dig into exercise a bit more deeply. Based on the results of that report, I'm not just going to tell you it's time to start exercising again. We're going to get very specific, and I'll be able to tell you exactly how much cardio you should be doing, how much resistance or weight training, to what intensity level, duration of workouts, how frequently you should work out, all specifics that are based upon your genetic profile and structured around any possible limitations you may have. Finally, it'll give me a nutritional status on you as well, which will allow me to suggest the right supplements for you, but again, in the proper forms and the proper dosages so your body can metabolize them and utilize them properly, which again, every patient does differently. So at the end of our process here, every patient will leave with a similar 43-day meal plan. But every single patient's exercise plan, maintenance plan, supplement plan is going to be worlds apart because it's based upon your individual genetic profile. Weight loss systems that use this type of genetic testing are statistically about 2.5 times more effective at losing weight than those that don't. So as long as this technology has been available to us, We've utilized it on every patient. It helps to maximize our progress, and it's a very valuable tool. There's a few ways that you can choose to go. If you've heard me and you feel like this is a program that resonates with you and you want to push forward with the rest of it, we've got about 45 minutes. We'll take you through the entire process, and you'll leave us today with all the knowledge, tools, and supplies to begin the program on day one, whenever you choose it to be. If, however, you feel like you need to think about this a little further, talk about it with family members, that's fine too. We want you to be comfortable with your decision to make sure that it's the right program and the right time for you. This will never be a pressured situation. In any event, the first step necessary to ultimately proceed is the initial body composition analysis. It's the only piece of this process that has an additional cost, and it's a whopping $27. And it's necessary to do because it gives us data to make more educated decisions. All future BCAs will be performed on your unit at home and carry no additional charge. Program costs and flexible available payment options will be discussed at the end of this video. Compass Fat Loss does not accept insurance assignment. However, our staff will gladly supply you with documentation to submit to insurance carriers for possible reimbursement, with the understanding that different plans and carriers may reimburse at different levels. Should you have an HSA or health savings account or an FSA, flexible spending account, through your employer, these funds may be used toward these expenses 100% of the time. Please follow the path that's comfortable for you, and if it's to come on board with us, we'll work with you every single day, and we'll do our very best to help you reach your goals and maintain them for the rest of your life. Thank you for listening.
I'm the golf professional at Twin Hills Country Club, and have battled with weight kind of my whole life, back to college on FinFan pills and etc., and done the hypnosis and the calorie counting and the exercising, and would have some success and lose some weight. And then inevitably with the crunch of golf season, the weight would come back on and then some more. And I'd kind of reached a boiling point and heard about the program here. My scale started measuring when I got down to 340 pounds. Now it's at 210 this morning, so we've had a good run thanks to Dr. Kusher. Yeah, in 8 months I've lost a little more than 130 pounds. The accountability of it, knowing at night that in the morning I had to text doc my weight, kind of kept me away from that stuff. So I think the accountability had a lot to do with it. And then the fact that it was happening so fast and so reinforcing to watch it come off so fast, you wanted to keep going. So that first 40 days to lose, I think I lost 45 or 50 pounds in that first 40-day period. You didn't want to stop. And it kind of became addictive there to keep going. We took a 2-week trip, a road trip down to Florida to see my folks, and I came back in 2 weeks, maybe a little more than 15 pounds heavier. And he knew I wasn't going to be in contact while I was gone, and the text back to me was, "It'll come off fast." And it wasn't, "Holy cow, what'd you do?" or "Oh my God, you better come in," or "Cut off a leg," or, "Trap your mouth shut." It was, "Don't worry about it, it'll be gone soon." And that whole trip weight was gone within the first week I was home. Well, I would certainly think we've developed a friendship. He's certainly gained my confidence to a point where I know I've referred 6 or 8 people here that have started and have had similarly great results. So it's certainly become a way of life. It certainly helped extend my life. And so to that I'll always be grateful. And I think Doctor knows that. But like I said, the daily interaction, and it has been more than just a word back and forth. We've exchanged phone calls and had meetings, and it's just been really great.
So my starting weight was 241. Today I weighed in at 173. I feel fantastic. I shop at the grocery store for my meals. It's great because it's not prepackaged foods. There's no pills, there's no shakes, there's no bars that you have to eat. I cook all of my meals. I haven't been hungry on the plan. And if I am, I'll eat any of the free foods that are allowed, which are plenty, and it keeps me satisfied throughout the whole day. They did a body comp analysis of me at my first appointment, which showed me where my fat was: muscle, bone mass, water, visceral fat. And what I've learned through those scans is that as I'm increasing my hydration, increasing my muscle, it's causing the fat to come off quicker, and all of my numbers are in a more healthy zone right now. It's exciting because in my business, I don't see all of my coworkers on a daily basis. I'll see them from month to month. So over the course of this year, when I see them at our meetings, they're amazed at the transformation that my body has been taking. I even have clients that reintroduce themselves to me because they don't recognize me.
The first week after 7 days when I lost 18 pounds, I was like amazed. I go, I've never lost 18 pounds on any diet plan in my life, no matter how big I was. And I'm very happy about that. And when you go to these other weight loss programs, you go to their office, on a Saturday or a Tuesday, whatever it is, and you meet, and they're very supportive, and everything works out great. Well, I get a call from this guy every day. Or I should say, I text him, he texts me back. Or if there's a problem, he'll call me or text me and fix it by changing my diet for a day or for 4 days. And then usually I go right back into fat burning mode. So I've never had that kind of support on a diet plan before. That's why I think I succeeded, I can eat this food and live this way the rest of my life. And I really feel that way confidently because I'm never, ever tired of what I eat. I've got a great wife that changes my food up for me all the time. And maybe the support that she gives me is a big asset. But if I had to do it on my own, I could. Here's the thing, too. The doctor knows that we're human beings. We've got to go and have a good time on vacation. And I go and have fun on vacation. I know I'm going to put on a few pounds. But he promised me when I come back, if I jump back on the plan, I'll lose it. And usually, like in 7, 8 days, whatever I put on is gone, and I'm back down to losing weight again. So it's a wonderful plan. When my wife and I used to go out dancing, I danced 1 dance and sit down 5. Now I dance 5 dances and sit down 1. So that's a bonus right there for me, being able to dance with my wife more. A lot more energy, and walks all over the place now. Where I'd walk, a half mile, now I'm walking 3 or 4, and it's great to be out there moving around a little bit better than I was. I started at 386, and now I'm down to 204, and I feel great.
Now that you understand our process and you've seen some of our success stories, the time to take action is now. First, most questions you may have had should have been answered by this presentation, but please ask your coach any remaining questions that you may have. If we're going to do any of this together at all, it's going to be predicated on first running the little body composition analysis, because it's critical for me to capture this data on you on day 1 so we can build an objective baseline for you. So we have something to measure off of each time you come in, and we can assess our progress by the data and the numbers, so we don't guess at any of it. It's also going to serve as a valuable tool at the end of the process because all those health risks will be coming down into range that I need to see them, and I know that we've achieved your goal weight. Finally, let's talk about the payment process and the options here. We charge a single flat fee for this entire process, and that's going to take us from today or day 1 all the way through not just the 43 days. That's where the weight's going to come off at the fastest rate. But we may have more weight to lose and may not be done with the process by then. So we're not going to stop. We are going to continue to monitor you every single day until we get you down to goal weight. So there's no time constraint in this process. Once we reach goal weight together, we're going to continue to monitor you daily for about a month or 2 longer. So I'm comfortable that once you attain that weight, that you're holding it well for a reasonable period of time before I start to gradually hand the pieces of the process over to you, allowing you to assume more full control. So what begins as a rapid weight loss process is going to transition into a longer-term relationship process, and the entire staff will be with you until you come out the other side. Finally, let's assume you have lost your weight and you're maintaining well, and now we're 1 or 2 years down the road and you may begin to slip up a bit. All I ask from the patient is that you maintain the channels of communication with the doctor and staff, and we will all be here to help you stay on track or get back on track should you stray a bit. The one thing I don't want you to do is disappear. We cannot help you if we cannot find you. The program is priced out in a very simple and affordable modular format. The initial 43-day module includes all your supplies, your body composition analyzer, access to the phone app, initial supplements, DNA testing, daily monitoring and coaching, virtually everything you'll need for a cost of $999. If you need to lose somewhere up to about 25 pounds, this will likely be the only module you may need. If you need to lose more weight, you will move to additional 43-day modules for a cost of $399 each, which will include another full supply of weight management drops until you attain your goal weight. You will be required to commit to the number of modules estimated to reach your goal weight, which we will assess at your initial visit. However, you will never purchase or be charged for more than 5 total modules, maximizing your cost at $25.95. But you may pay far less depending upon how much you need to lose and how fast you get there. You'll actually be financially rewarded for optimizing your weight loss progress. Once you complete your final module, you will have the option, but not the obligation, to move on to the extended support program for a nominal monthly fee. During this phase, we will continue to monitor you every day, just as we have from day one, to help ensure you maintain your goal weight within a narrow range. The patients who may make the mistake of breaking the connection prematurely have a higher likelihood of reverting to their old habits and regaining weight. I do not want to see this happen to you. Here's exactly how the rest of the process unfolds. After your initial BCA is performed and your payment arrangements are completed, you will watch a second video today, about 30 minutes in length. This will guide you through all the details and mechanics of the meal plan, the journaling process, virtually everything you need to know to jump off correctly on day one. Then at the very end of today's visit, you'll sit with the coach for just a few final minutes, who will guide you through the few remaining topics which are patient-specific. Portion sizes, water intake, salt intake, things which are different for each patient. You'll receive all your supplies, you'll walk out ready to go, pick your day one whenever you want it to begin, and you're off and running losing weight. So, choose your payment option, you'll sit with your coach, discuss your health history, answer any remaining questions, perform your initial BCA for you, and you'll be on your way. Remember, if you could have successfully accomplished this by yourself, you would not be here with us. Let's work as a team and take some action today and start to optimize your health and reduce your weight now.